Happy Liberation Day. Today is April 2nd, and Trump announced his liberation. Do you feel liberated? It's kind of interesting, that phrase, but we are liberated. It's a liberation from globalism. The whole globalism structure is falling apart now because of the tariffs that Trump has imposed. Today, he made a grand announcement and he showed all the tariffs he's leveling against various countries. Now, just to be clear, I thought he did this wise. We are not putting tariffs on countries that don't have tariffs on us. And he's not even making our tariffs equal to their tariffs. It's about half, right? So if a country has a tariff on us of 50%, he's raising our tariff to 25%. I mean, it seems fair. It's not really that radical because Trump isn't tired of being screwed in this globalism model that really started to take off, I would say, under Bill Clinton. And a lot of people were warning what that would do to our country. Ross Perot did, Pat Buchanan. I think Ross Perot said there'd be a giant sucking sound of jobs out of America if NAFTA was passed. And he was 100% right. That's what happened. Our economy, manufacturing jobs, they were shut down and they were sent to places like Mexico. Because, like in Mexico, you have low cost labor, they don't have worker health protections, they don't have environmental issues. So we saw the jobs going there. And the same with China and elsewhere. I don't think we make a television in the United States. Do we make any computers? I don't know what we make in the United States. Oh, we make porn. Our girls make porn and we engage in financial scams. And that does make some people very rich for very little effort, but it's really a deck of cards and it was all going to come down. It was unnatural. This had to be balanced out a little bit. And that's what Trump did today. Now, I know initially the stock market went down. That's predictable because companies, they got used to having cheap labor and cheap manufacturing. So you just sent everything over to China or Vietnam or wherever to make your product cheap so you can sell it in the United States. Now it's not going to be so cheap. There's only a few things they can do. They can either raise the price of the product or they can have the manufacturing in the United States, or the countries that we trade with, they can remove their tariffs, which would be good for us because then we could sell our products into their country. So don't get this wrong. We never had free trade. It was just a one-way relationship. We allowed the entire world to screw America, and the results have been horrible. Those days are over. Those days are over. If you're a country and you want to send goods into the United States without a tax or a tariff, that's fine. You just got to remove yours. I think that's very reasonable. And so the stock market initially went down, and it's going to be turbulent for a few days, but you can't judge these things just by the initial news. There's always a reaction. But I think long term is going to be very healthy for our country. And it was needed for many reasons. One reason is you can't have a proper country if people don't have jobs, good paying jobs. That used to be the backbone of America, where you didn't have to go to college. You could have your high school diploma, be a working class guy, work in the factory. It wasn't glamorous. You weren't rich, but you could get a house. You could have a wife and children. That's all been devastated. It's devastated mid-sized cities like Flint, Michigan, Rockford, Illinois, Fort Smith, Arkansas. Used to be healthy cities, but because of free trade, they've been destroyed. And we need more in America, again, than just making porn, marijuana, and gambling. We need to have real industries, and this is going to bring the industries back. So people, again, corporations, they just look at the bottom line. They're like, oh, okay, if I'm like Toyota, I'm going to want to build my car factory in the United States so I don't have the tariff. That's the prime reason for a tariff. But another great reason for the tariff, and Trump has brought this up, is it's a great way to raise revenue. How do you think the United States government ran before it got an income tax? right? Yeah, the first 100 or 150 years, there was no income tax. So how did that work? How did the government get their money? Primarily through tariffs. Tariffs are American as baseball and apple pie. So instead of you paying income tax, we have these people, these other countries are paying a tax to import their products to America. It's great. And as Trump said, if enough of this comes in, we could potentially eliminate the deficit and maybe you won't have to pay income taxes. I'm kind of skeptical that will happen, but that's a possibility that could happen with that. And another reason it's good to have tariffs is you got to protect certain industries, if nothing else, for national defense. And I know I'm a guy that believes in peace, but if you don't have any industry, you can't throw your weight around because a primary part of war is logistics and manufacturing. So you can make missiles, you can make computer chips, the whole thing, you can make tanks. And America, we've outsourced a lot of our manufacturing. And some countries like England, what the hell they're doing? They're threatening Russia. I'm like, they shut down all their steel production. I'm like, what are you threatening them with? You're just a useless country now. You don't have any manufacturing. China's got a lot of manufacturing. So in case of a war, God forbid, but they have a great manufacturing base. They can just pump out submarines, ships, airplanes, arms. But in America, we can't because we don't have the facilities here. It's not like World War II. We could convert from civilian production, domestic stuff into weapons. We did that really quick, and we were the backbone to help win World War II. We provided a lot of the manufacturing and the ammunition and tanks to the Soviet Union, to France, to Britain. And if that's gone, and we're at war with, let's say, China or Russia, we just can't build this up overnight. So this is a national security concern too. So I think the markets are spooked right now, but in long term, this breaks the whole globalism cycle that we need to focus on America, where we make stuff and we're willing to trade with other countries. But if we're going to trade with another country, we're going to match, or we're going to have tariffs just like they have tariffs. If they don't want tariffs, as Trump said, then they could get rid of their tariffs. We'll take away our tariffs. And Trump's not even matching their tariffs. In some cases, they have like 100% tariff, and Trump's like, okay, we'll make ours 50% then. I mean, it should be 100% if we're matching. So I think this is wise. I think this is going to help build America again. This is long overdue. Again, there's going to be some initial disruptions in the market, but sometimes you got to have short-term pain to get the long-term gain. And otherwise, we don't have a country anymore. We'll end up like Canada or England, end up a third world mess. Nothing but third world immigrants running around demanding welfare. That is no way to have a country. Talk to you guys later.